Welcome back to Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. Today's episode powered by Hayabusa. It's all about the 3 most important footwork drills for MMA. All right, in today's episode, we're talking about the 3 most important drills that I like to teach for MMA. Now, especially being a striker, I like to keep and manage distance. So this footwork is really nice for you to be able to move around the cage and avoid being taken down, cutting angles, staying safe. Now, the biggest thing when you have a small glove is understanding your range management. With a small glove, if I'm newer to MMA and small glove, I can't just walk forward in a high guard. I have to have the ability to move my feet, to evade. I have to use my eyes more when it comes to smaller gloves. So this type of footwork will help you to be able to move freely around the cage in a more safer way, controlling your distance management, okay? Because to me, as I always repeat in all of my videos, is distance management is one of the most important things you can learn in combat sports. You manage the distance and you control it, most likely you're gonna win the fight. Okay, so let's get into our first footwork drill that we're gonna walk through. Now, the first thing is being able to move backwards, okay? Now, I can move backwards in our traditional Muay Thai way with a traditional box step. But the problem is, if I have a wrestler who's really shooting on me or really blitzing me, I have to be able to move back faster. Now, the first thing, if you're not a confident fighter in both stances, I gotta gallop. Now, this lead leg, I push it back here so I can move quicker. Okay? By pushing that way off my lead side, instead of slow box stepping here, is I use a gallop step. Now the front foot replaces the back and I keep moving. I can move forward with it as well, okay? So using this gallop step to move in and out is very important. But we got to advance it a little bit, okay? Now, when I come forward, right, I don't want to keep my head on center line. So as I move my feet with the gallop, I try to move my head at the same time as well. Even when I'm moving backwards, you see my head position moving so I can load up and power my shots. I can have a down block to defend a punch. You also notice I'm not keeping my hands up here. I'm keeping my hands loose for those down blocks, the takedown defense, okay? So I'm moving with my head and my feet are moving together. Now, as I come forward, right, I don't want to be a fighter that's always moving on a center line. So now when I move forward, this is where I start adding zigzag patterns. I'll zigzag this way. I'll cut this way. So I'm moving my head and my feet trying to cut my opponent off. Now, this zigzag footwork pattern is very good if you want to move someone backward in a straight line. So as I cut here, they move this way. I cut this way, they move that way. The next thing you know, I have them against the cage to be able to attack. Now, same thing moving backwards. They want to shoot for a single or a double. So what I want to do is I want to be able to gallop, remove my foot. Gallop, remove. Gallop, remove. So I'm using back steps to be able to move myself even faster. Okay? I can move fast with a gallop, but this back stepping here will move me even quicker and eliminates them trying to grab my lead leg and makes things a little bit more confusing. Okay? So the ultimate drill, I move back even in a zigzag pattern. I can cut back, try not to stay on a center line, and then usually when I cut to the back, right, when I feel after a few steps the cage is getting beside me, then I usually would circle out of my cage so they can't pressure me, and then I'll cut on an angle again. So I'm pressuring here, the evasion comes, then I'm moving back, and then here I don't want to be caught, so I move left and right. Now, one quick tip for my strikers who don't want to be taken down. When I get near the cage, that warning track, when I'm here, I use directional feints to cut an angle, right? I always talk about you're a receiver in football. You got the ball. You have to use feints to be able to cut through, cut angles, okay? So, last one. I move backwards on a zigzag, moving my head, moving my feet. I use a directional feint to fake my opponent out. I start pressuring with good tracking, with my shifting of my footwork in that zigzag pattern. Okay, that's number 1. You're moving forward and backwards with good footwork. Now, the other one I like, this is more of an attacking style, which I like to use. So this is your opponent, the cone. Now, this is what we call our triangle step. Now, I'm going to come in. When I step in mid-range, I throw my combinations. Now, I exit, I shuffle to a new angle, I come in, I attack, I exit out, and I take a new angle. Okay? Now, when I do this, we're doing it simply left and right. In a fight, you have your opponent stationary, you want to change the directions when you go. Sometimes I might go 2 to my left, and then I might fake again, directional feints, go to my right. Okay, and I constantly change which direction I go. Enter, exit, and move. Okay, now I like, when I do this drill, when I step, I usually gallop out first, then I'll go to a neutral before I circle. I just don't want to stay too close to my cone. I don't want to punch and then step into my neutral stance so close to my cone. This is why after I attack, I gallop out first, then I get to a neutral, then I cut an angle. So I'm getting out of range before I get into my neutral stance to change angles. Okay, so this is your triangle step. You're stepping in to attack, galloping, going to a neutral stance, changing an angle, coming in and attacking from the new angle. And you're constantly changing it up. Don't make the same pattern, 2 right, 2 left, 2 right. Constantly change it and confuse your opponent in which direction you're going. Okay, so this one's very important. Now, the last one I'm going to teach you for today is if, again, pressure fighter. We're moving backwards, we're circling. I want to have the ability to be able to pressure somebody, okay, and keep them against the cage. Now, one of the easiest ways to visualize this is I want to do a half circle, okay? Why I consider a half circle is because, say, my opponents come in this way, I cut them off. Their back's against the cage. They have to circle this way. So I circle out, and then I created my half circle to attack on this way. They move this way. I track them here, and I try to get in front of them. And I like to switch stances, okay? So I can be in southpaw here. I circle them out. I cut them off here. I hit them with my hooks. I come this way, and I circle with my hooks. Now, I'm an orthodox fighter who can switch stances, but if you're not comfortable with that half circle with the stance switch, one of the things that I will do, I'll stay in my orthodox, right? I cut them off this way, so I punch them with the hook. They escape this way. I might stay in front of them and now use my right kick. Whatever I do, I want to walk them into my strike. So quick visualization. I'm going to put Matt's back to the camera right here. Okay, and now from here, Matt's circling this way. I circled in my U. He goes this way. I cut him off this way. I hit him this way. I stay in front of him. I close off the door. Okay, so you see this little U-shaped pattern. Now, like I said, I can stay in orthodox. I hit him with my hook. As he circles this way, boom, I unfold my kicks. So I'm learning this pattern of laterally striking and moving and attacking. Okay, so quick little review. We have to have the ability to move forward and backwards efficiently and fast in MMA. Someone's blitzing me fast, I got to be able to move and then cut an angle nice and quickly. I don't want to keep my back or any moment where I'm waiting against the cage for them to grab me or pin me to the cage, okay? So moving, we want to do zigzag patterns, head off line, right, to be able to pressure our opponent. Then we have our triangle step to be able to attack, exit out, create a new angle, attack again. Angles with small glove, very good. If someone's just sitting here, you want to be over here. You want to be over here. Get your angles, you'll find more success landing your punches. Okay, last but not least, we got to be able to lateral track someone, right? We can lateral track using this U-shape pattern to be able to cut your opponent off. Now, when I do this U-shape, I could extend that circle, make it more of an oval, right? So I can cut them off here. I might stay in neutral until I'm able to cut them off. So I might extend how I do my circle to be able to track my opponent at the same time beating them. Sometimes they move faster, sometimes they move slower. So the half circle will change depending on how fast your opponent's moving, okay? Footwork drills, very important. A lot of times we focus on the striking, the hitting, how hard you can hit, how fast you can hit. But none of that matters if you're not able to enter safely, exit safely, move, keep your distance management, cut some angles. So you can see how footwork is very important, especially when it comes to the small gloves and a nice circular cage, an octagon. This will all really help you out. All right, hope you enjoyed today's lesson and keep supporting the channel by supporting our sponsors. We have Hayabusa by going to hayabusafight.com, link down below. Perfect Sports Nutrition. Using code Bazooka20 will get you 20% off all your supplements. Last but not least, bazookatraining.com, online curriculum taught by me with brand new videos every single week. We have home drills, sparring drills, pad work, bag work tutorials, archive library now of at least over 600 videos for less than $10 a month. Very cheap for you guys to continue your martial arts and learning journey. We'll see you next time here at Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. Welcome to Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA online training. I'm Bazooka Joe Valtellini, the owner here at Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. Over the past year, I've designed and created a website to teach Bazooka curriculum at home and across the world. The purpose of this website is for you to, one, hit your fitness and health goals, all while learning world-class martial arts instruction from me. The beautiful thing about this website, it's geared for all levels. So if you're learning martial arts for the first time as a beginner, we help you progress into the bigger stages. And if you're a pro fighter, guess what? We have different fight concepts for you to improve your tool set and your skills in the ring or cage. As the fastest rising kickboxing world champion and a lifelong martial artist with over 30 years of experience, I've been able to combine my passion for martial arts and teaching to create this website. This website is going to give you some of the tricks, secrets, and inside look at some of the training I use to win my world title. Once you subscribe to this site, you're going to be getting weekly training videos and tutorials that you can do from anywhere. The sections are broken up into 3 parts. The first is bag workout. So if you have a bag at home or at your gym, you can use these workouts to supplement your training. The second is at-home workouts. A lot of us don't have the room for a bag or a bag in general, so these workouts are for no equipment needed and you can do them anywhere. And finally, the tutorial section. If you're having any problems with a specific technique or fight concept that's covered in any of the workouts, go to the tutorial section, learn the technique, and then go back to the workout, and this time, do it with proper technique. One of the added benefits once you subscribe is the forums section, where you can get a more personalized experience where you can ask questions and I'll be able to go in there and answer them. It's all about building a team and a community of martial artists helping each other grow. So subscribe now to get access to all the videos plus more so you can be part of the squad here at Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA.